today, what we're going to do today, we're going to have a review of lesson 1 for a while, because we had a lot of people last week that could not walk into a house to talk to somebody about listing their house and could not walk in there and tell them who they were. Basically, that's what it amounted to. You know, you walk into my house and well, I come over to talk to you about listing a house. Well, who are you? And you can't tell me. And for you guys that weren't here last week, honest to God, you can tell them, right, Rocco? About 8 of them sitting here, none of them can tell me who they were. So the point is, if you can't tell somebody who you are and what you're all about, how are you going to do this business? How are you going to do this business? I'm not going to list my house to somebody that I don't know. They gotta like you, don't forget, they gotta like you professionally. And the way they get to like you professionally is for you to have a set pattern and set dialogues and that sort of thing. You gotta know what you're talking about. We use a couple of examples. Hey, Rocco, I'm not gonna sell my house now. I don't want to sell it till next fall.
I can appreciate that. Why do you want to wait till next fall?
Did you hear what he said? I can appreciate that. Why? Easy enough? Easy enough? That's just one good example. You walk in there and you talk to them and you tell them what you're going to do. Hey, yeah, but how much is my house worth? Come on, Rocco.
Your house is worth how much buyer willing to pay for it.
And I don't know how much it's worth right now because I haven't done my homework, research, that sort of stuff. This is what I'm talking about. You gotta know the dialogues. Hugo knows the dialogues too, right?
Yes, sir.
We're talking to big companies, Hugo. We don't want to talk to you, little outfit. What do you say?
Well, I can appreciate that. But these larger companies, typical agent will probably have 5 to 10 listings, and so he has to divide his time in between those 5 to 10 listings, where I'll have your listing, so all my time will be dedicated towards yours.
You get the answer? Guess what? They've learned this stuff. They know, you're going to get hit with some of those kind of questions. You hardly ever walk in a house that somebody doesn't want to, well, what's my house worth? First thing they want to know from you is, what's my house worth? I don't know. I'll have to do my research. You know? But you can't walk in there and say, I think it's about $600,000. You know, and then the damn thing's worth $500,000 or less. And, well, you told us, sort of thing. So you can't do it that way. So anyway, that's what last week was all about. And we were going to really get into that a little more with the people that were here last week who aren't here now. Today's subject, we got to find customers. Where's the best place, quickest place, easiest place to find a customer?
Open house.
Open house, absolutely, positively. Open houses. Huh?
That's where they all hang out.
Yeah, that's where they come to. They come to open houses. All right? You got to know how to talk to people at open houses. All right? So if somebody comes to you, we're not going to talk about putting up signs and signing in and all that stuff. We're going to talk about conversation primarily and what you do while you're there. Now, it's a little different sometimes if it's your own listing that you're sitting in an open house at, as opposed to you're sitting somebody else's listing. If you're sitting your own listing, there's a few things you want to make sure you get done. One of them is this. What do you think you do when nobody's at the open house? What do you think you do when nobody's there? Watch TV, right? Read a magazine, right? Say, play some cards, right? I walked in an open house, 2 old ladies were sitting in the open house. Playing cards. And they said, the handout stuff's over, take a look. Your deal. You know? No. This is what my idea of what you want to do. Sit somewhere where you can watch the street. Watch the street. What are you watching the street for, Rocco?
See how many people drive by.
See how many people drive by. Do we have any people that drive by and kept on going? Yeah. Because if it's my listing, at the end of the day, when I report back to the seller, I'm going to say something like this. We had 10 people today that wouldn't buy the price from the street. All right? They wouldn't buy your price from the street. And that's all part of the dialogue for when you got to get a price reduction. All right? If I had 4 open houses and I had 20 people that rode by and didn't come in, you think I'm going to tell my seller that? Sure I am. You better believe I am. That's one thing you watch the street for. Another thing you watch the street for is this. If it's a couple do they have something in their hand, you know, whether it's a printout from the computer or a newspaper ad or whatever, that tells you what houses are open today? What's open today? Guess what? If they've studied what's open today before they went out today, are they a serious buyer? Absolutely. They're looking for a house. Those kind of people are looking at a house. They're not just riding around. They're not just riding around. What else you look for? For lack of a better way to explain it, if it's a couple, is it a couple thing? Do both of them get out of the car and want to come in the house? Or is she pulling him out of the car? Or can't get him out of the car or whatever? It's a couple. If it's a couple thing, that's a good thing, right? That's another thing you look at. You can tell all this just by sitting there looking out the window. What else? Do they look at the house as they approach the house? Or are they actually looking, oh, it looks like the roof was pretty good shape, blah, blah, blah. Right? That's another thing you can look for. These are all signs of serious buyers. Easy enough? Last thing, do they maybe check around the backyard, the property, look up and down the street? All of that. On their way into the house. Yeah, look around the neighborhood here. What's here? That sort of thing. All right, so, point being again, sit yourself down where you can see them before they ever come in the house. Easy enough? Now, what do you want to learn from people who come to an open house? You want one question answered. It's right on there. It's right on there. See it? See it? What's it say, Hugo?
I don't have mine because you still get to make copies.
No, I got plenty of copies. I got plenty. No, here's plenty of copies. Huh? Well, that's part of the dialogue. Yeah, here, bud. I got plenty of copies up here. What's that one question on there, Hugo? Read fast.
Why did the customer come to the open house?
Why did the customer come to the open house? The one question I want answered if somebody comes to my open house is, why are they here? See, most of these new agents think, oh, I'm going to try to sell this house today at an open house, which they are, and there's buyers going to come to the open house. That's the only thing that comes to the open house, right, Bucko? No, you know better than that.
Nosy
Wake
neighbors.
up. Huh?
And nosy neighbors.
No, there's no such thing as a nosy neighbor.
Somebody wants to sell.
Somebody wants to sell their house. If I want to sell my house and there's an open house in the neighborhood, do you think I'll go over there? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. What will I go over there for?
To see if your home is
That's right.
in comparison.
Yeah, how do these houses compare? Because that way I can maybe get a price. Right? That's one thing I come over there for. What's the other thing, the big thing I come over there for? If I'm interested in selling my house, what am I looking for?
Agent.
An agent. And I am interviewing an agent while I'm there. Most people don't know they're being interviewed. Every time you go on a listing, everybody says, I got a listing appointment. You got a job interview is what you got. It's not a listing appointment, it's a job interview. They might hire you. That's what it amounts to. So, where do we go from all that? The simple answer to the question is one of the following. They either got to sell a house, buy a house, or both. You see that? People come because they have to sell a house, buy a house, or sell a house and buy a house. The best real estate weekend I ever had in my life. I had a listing, and I did an open house on Sunday. And one of the customers came back and bought the house that night. All right? And also, while I was sitting there watching the street, this old couple hobbled down the street. And they didn't look like they drove. Where'd they come from? Oh, they're neighbors. Guess what? Made a little rapport with them. Guess what they were getting ready to do? Get their house on the market. That night, I listed their house. Because I had listing paperwork and everything with me. I had everything with me. That's one thing you got to learn in this business. This is off the track saying. One thing you got to learn in this business is be prepared to do what you got to do. Which is everything. All right? Okay, preparation. Do what you got to do. So this old couple comes down there, and I walk up the street that evening and list their house. Tuesday night, their house sold. So, I had 4 deals in 2 days, and that's the most money I ever made in one day in this business, or one weekend in this business. But anyway, all right, so we got to go through the meet and greet. All right, if you look at this thing, all of this is on here. This do-jigger right here, I had to do it this way because I couldn't do it the other way. Meet and greet. First thing they got to do when they come to the open house, meet and greet, sign the register, that sort of thing, right? So what's it say down there? Why did the customer come to the open house? Can you ask the customer the following question? Good afternoon, my name is Tom. Why'd you come here today? Obviously not. Obviously not. I got the guy here that's got all the answers. Good, I'm glad you're here. I don't feel like talking all day today, so I'm glad you're here. He's got all the answers.
Awesome.
This one right here, and that one right there got the answers. If I ask a question, they'll answer it. Right, Rocco?
Yep.
Absolutely. You know why? Practice, 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 practice. Right, Harry?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I say this stuff so daggone many times that it just automatically, I open my mouth and it comes out. All right? But I've said it a couple thousand times. So. All right, so where are we going? At the bottom of the first page. You can't ask the customer, what are you doing here? You come to my open house? What'd you come to my open house for? You can't ask somebody that. No. All right. Set up the open house with props. How many of you have ever done that? You see the bottom of the first page says, set up the open house with props that can be used to encourage conversation. We used to make little tent signs. You know what a tent sign is? A little tent sign looks like so. We used to make little tent signs. Had dialogue on them. Had dialogue on the tent sign, so they knew what they were expecting. All right? If there's any chance of getting the answer to the basic question of why did you come here today? Why did you come here today? We're doing open houses today, by the way.
Good morning.
Good morning. Haven't seen you in a while.
It has.
It has. There you go.
Cheers.
I know where the women are. Hey, the women deserve this. I think we ran them off last week when we said they got to come up here and tell us who they are. I think that's what.
Rocco scared him when we wore that t-shirt looking 15 again.
That could have been. Hey, he's got a new tattoo now, though, so he's cool. All right. Where are we? Where the heck are we? All right, the bottom of the first page. If there's any chance of getting the answer to the basic question. What's the basic question again?
Why are you here?
Why are you here? Why are you here? All right, look at page 2. If the customer's interested in selling, where some props can be used to encourage a conversation. Okay, hey, your resume. Oh, Lordy. I think that's what scared them off today, is their resume. Most of them don't have one. Right, Rocco? Last week, Rocco and somebody else stood up here and told us who they were. Okay? And that was interesting, We do these testimonials in here all the time. And they come up, Lewis, I don't understand why they'll come up here and do these testimonials and they won't come up here and do who you are in the real estate world. They can talk about their life, but they can't talk about who they are in the real estate world.
That's weird, right?
It's a little strange to me, I tell you. Just like not practicing. You don't know me, but I was a high school football coach for 30 years, and we practiced everything. We practiced standing at attention at the national anthem, and we filmed it. And you better not be standing there talking to somebody when they played that thing, for example. All right? So, where are we? Okay. Your resume highlights listing activities. How many of you in here, if you went out and did an open house today, Rocco, listen up. You went out and listed, you're sitting in an open house today, and I walk in your open house, I see this for sale sign on the one up the street. How much is that on the market for?
That's on the market for $450.
How do you know?
I did my research.
Amazing. 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 Most of them will say, the one up the street, now which one is that? I'll have to look that up for you, blah, 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 blah. Might as well put a gun to your head. You're done. You're done. If you don't know the inventory, we used to do, when I did this a long time ago, we used to do this every week in a training class. Where do you live? I live in such and such a town. Tell me 5 houses that have gone on the market in that town in the last week. Tell me 5 houses. Where do you live?
I just moved to Westfield.
Okay, you just moved to Westfield? Where do you live in Westfield?
Sterling.
Okay, all right. 5 houses. Tell me 5 houses just went on the market in Westfield.
614 Sterling.
Place.
No, the point being, you see what the point is? See what the point is? You remember what we said? It's a job interview. So if you're job interviewing, you're selling real estate, Harry, but you can't tell me what's up for sale. Does that make any sense?
No.
Not at all. Not at all. It's all comes down to research, and more dadgum research. Information on other homes for sale. How about mortgage information? Hey, by the way, what are the 30-year fixed mortgage rates today?
They're at a 20-year low.
Yeah? What are they?
Less than a check. They're
Usually
about
we get printouts from our in-house mortgage rep, have everything laid out.
Absolutely.
Show it to them.
And yeah, you can show it to them, but if I just said, what are the rates today, can't you just basically tell me?
Sure.
Sure.
I'd rather show you.
Yeah, I know. Show's always better than a tell. Don't forget that. Right, Lewis?
Yes, it is.
Oh, show's always better than a tell. Don't forget that. New guy, don't forget that.
That's what, no, I'm just kidding.
Now. All right. Placards or tent cards about the advantages of buying a home now. Are there any advantages to buying a home right now?
Sure.
What? Talk to me.
Investment opportunities.
Investment. I'm not an investor. I'm just coming to an open house to see about buying a house. I'm not investing in any, So, are there advantages to buying now? Yeah. Is there a lot of houses in the market? I can tell you this, there's going to be a heck of a lot more. There's going to be a heck of a lot more. This new tax law is going to put a heck of a lot more of them on the market. All right? Are you with us, dear? Yes? You feel lonesome?
I guess I should
Because
use money for that.
we ran all the women off.
Yeah, so no way. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't run her off. She's a tough cookie.
I know.
It is.
I know. I'm just trying to see if I got any more of that. Huh?
I was waiting.
That's
Felt like I lived with you.
Yeah?
With all your videos on there.
I was waiting at those food posts.
Hey, we're talking about doing open houses, huh? Okay? You know how to do open houses? Good. You're going to learn a little bit more about doing them. You're welcome, hon. All right, where are we here? There's a list of things that we talked about at the top of page 2.
The mortgage rep.
Placards about the advantages of buying a home now. Yeah. Yeah. Is it a good idea to talk to people about buying a home now?
Yeah.
What's coming up, Rocco? Spring market. Buyers come out in the spring. Is that correct?
Yeah.
There are people last fall that said they're going to buy a house this spring. They're out there. So you ought to be able to talk about the spring market. Just like if somebody says we're going to buy a house. Have you ever had somebody walk in and say, yeah, I'm looking for a house, I'm going to buy a house? No. Not quite, but almost.
Yeah.
You can find that out about them. What's it say next? Setting up an open house is important. Woo-hoo. Okay, let's look down there at the paragraph that says you can start learning about the customer before you meet them by sitting near a window and watching the street. Remember that? We went over that, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
What's the customer do when they drive by and they don't come back? How do you use that, Harry?
Checking out the neighborhood.
Yeah, and how do you use that? They drive by and they don't come back at all. How are you going to use that?
Either they didn't like the neighborhood or they
Yeah, but how are you going to use
it.
Yeah,
That it was priced too high.
absolutely. You're going to talk to your seller, and we went over this a while ago. You're going to say to the seller, I had 8 people that drove by the other day. They wouldn't buy your price from the street. They wouldn't buy your price from the street. Okay, I couldn't get them in here. Selling a house is all about exposure. Well, they got exposed to the house, but they didn't get exposed to the inside of it because they wouldn't buy your price from the street. Right? Easy enough. So you learn that. You use it. Okay? The customer drive by and come back. Oh, Harry had the answer to that one just now. The customer drive by and come back. You ever see somebody drove by and slowly and looked and drove through the neighborhood and then they came back? Where were they, Harry? You just told me.
Checking out the neighborhood.
Checking out the neighborhood. Yeah, it looks like a pretty nice house. Wonder what the neighborhood's like. All right? Okay. Wonder what the neighborhood's like. So I'll ride around and check out the neighborhood. I like the neighborhood well enough, I'll come back. What happens when I come back? I'll come to the open house because the neighborhood was all right. Okay? Do they have a newspaper? We just talked about that. Or a computer printout showing open houses. You can't tell that unless you're sitting there watching somewhere.
Anyone else need a copy of this? Lauren has more. Does anyone else need one?
You got it?
What's the stuff?
I got a few extra copies.
You got one?
I think everybody's got one, but put them up here, huh? Okay, he's got them. Just put them right up there. That's good enough. I don't think we need any more. Thank you, honey. All right, hey, where were we? Do they have a newspaper with them or a computer printout or something? What's that tell you about them? Come on. Huh? They're prepared. They did decide this morning they were going to go look at some houses, didn't you? You think they're a serious buyer? Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
More importantly, they know how much the house is going for.
Also, that's right. This is in their price range. Absolutely. If they just come off the sign, Harry just made a point, if they just come off the sign, do they know what the price of the house is? No. But if they came off of that handout, oh, this is in our price range, right? So we know that. All right, what's the next thing say? If it's a couple, do they both appear interested in the house? We talked about that. After getting out of the car, do they look up the other house on the street? Do they check out the neighborhood? They stand out there in the street and check out the neighborhood. Hey, it's a pretty nice house. There's some pretty nice houses around here. Some pretty nice houses, so I think maybe we'll come in. Okay? And the last one, approaching the house, does the customer look at the house, yard, the roof, etc., etc., right? All right, what's the question again? Why did they come to the open house? Okay. First thing you got to do is meet and greet. Says it right on there, meet and greet. Okay? What are you going to say? You're going to have a business card in hand. You're going to have a name tag on. Last week we started the class by asking about name tags and business cards, and we had one person that had his name tag on in here last week, and he's running the camera. All right? Nobody else had a name tag. Yeah, I know, but hell, it's in your pocket. It doesn't do you any good in your pocket.
No.
Huh? You're supposed to wear it.
Blind myself.
Yeah, there you go. What else you supposed to have in hand? Business card. We've talked about business cards several times before. Right? Right? Rocco? They're really worth a lot of money in the box in your desk, right? Huh? No. Remember that tale I told you about? You give out 10 a day, put 10 in your pocket when you get up in the morning, and when you sometime during the day you give out 10 business cards. Somewhere. Even if you got to throw them out in the street. All right? All right? I don't care what you got to do with them, but you got to give out business cards. We've had this discussion before. You cannot be a secret agent. How many people in here right now that think there's 100 people that know you're in the real estate business? 100.
Way more than that.
Way more than that, yeah. 100. Here you go. 100 people know you're in the business?
Yeah.
Sure they do. Oh, no, you do. You know, from New York, probably still it's 100 people in New York know you're in the business, right? Sure. Absolutely. Now you got to get 100 people in New Jersey know you're in the business. Everybody got them? I'm sure you got them. You got them. Sure, 100, at least 100 people. That's just the start. You can't be a secret agent. So, you got to have a business card in hand. Got to have your name tag on. What are you going to say? What are you going to say to them? Remember we said something about canning these things? I'd can this. Good afternoon. My name is so-and-so from Culture Estate. I'd can it. It's right there. It's right there, right near the bottom of the page. You can start with a familiar greeting. Good afternoon. My name is so-and-so from Culture Estate. And I appreciate you coming by my open house. Appreciate's a good word. Remember, those of you that stick with me long enough, you know there's certain words we pick out, right, Harry? They're a good word. I can appreciate you coming. Damn, I'm glad you came. You can't walk up to them and say, damn, I'm glad you came in here today. Nobody else has been here. I'm glad you came or something. Can't do that. But you say the same thing to every one of them. It's a dialogue. Everyone who walks in the front door, I appreciate you coming by my open house today. That gets the thing started, which is what you're trying to do. All right? If you're sitting in a nice house, I'd say the thing that's near the bottom. Second paragraph from the bottom, too. If you're sitting in a nice house, you know, I appreciate you coming by my open house today. This is a nice house. I expect to sell it today. What are you doing with that? What are you doing with that? I expect to sell it today. What are you telling these maybe interested buyers?
You're telling them somebody else is interested.
Yeah, absolutely. You're telling them somebody's going to buy this house today. So if you're interested in buying this house today, you better get off your fanny and make a move, right? Easy. Nice house. I expect to sell it. And that's all you got to say. Just say it like this. It's a nice house. I expect to sell it today. Make sense? They don't know that that's canned dialogue. Somebody said something last week about, well, sometimes you feel like you're putting too much pressure on them. Remember that, Harry? Mm-hmm. What did we say pressure was? Are you pressuring people in this business? Yeah, you better believe you are. But the secret is you're pressuring them in a way they don't know they're getting pressured. Just like a nice house, I expect to sell it today. Okay? So where are we going from there? Go to page 3. They ask them to sign the register at the bottom of that page. Now, they'll say something about the register. A little something about the register. If I set an open house, the register would always be on a clipboard. The sign-in register would always be on a clipboard. You know why? Why?
So they can write neatly.
I don't like for them to write. I'd rather write myself if I could. But yeah. No, but that's all right. Why else? Let's walk through the house. Huh?
So you can walk around.
So you walk around with it. Why, Paul? So you know their name. You can talk to them as Mr. and, they're walking in front of you. Oh, this is Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so. Okay. Now, if I left that sign-in sheet at the front of the house somewhere, would I remember their name by the time I got to the third room in there? No. So, put it on the clipboard. Sign it yourself if they'll let you. Get the information yourself if they'll let you. If not, ask them to print it. Let them do it. Okay, now we're on page 3. If they're hesitant about signing, you see the dialogue up there? We don't want to sign in. Well, they got to sign in. They got to sign in. All right? Let me ask you this. By New Jersey law, Lewis can tell me this. By New Jersey law, if I come to an open house and I won't sign in, do you have to let me see the house? Nope. Don't have to. What's the dialogue there say? The homeowner request? You see that? See the dialogue? I'm sure that if it were your home, you would want to know who came through your house, wouldn't you? Yeah. You ask them to sign in. If they're hesitant about signing in, well, I'm sure if it were your house, you'd want people to sign in. You'd want to know who came to your house, wouldn't you? Easy enough? New Jersey real estate law makes it necessary that we have everybody sign in that comes through the open house. If it were your house, I'm sure you could understand that, couldn't you? Wouldn't you? Easy enough? All right. After you get the register signed, it's time for the home tour. Okay? And here's the key. See where it says there, let me show you the home? Do not let people wander. Do not let people wander through the house on their own. I set an open house one time, an expensive watch got stolen out of a drawer in a bedroom. Ooh, that wasn't fun to deal with. It wasn't laying out in the open. It was in a drawer. Guess what? Who wasn't in the room with them? You better believe it. That was a little problem. All right. Okay. A couple of things about the tour. Let me show you the home. All right. When you show a house, and this might apply to just showing another house other than an open house. When you show a house, what should you do? Should you lead the couple through the house or follow the couple through the house? Follow them. Absolutely, positively. Follow them. Have a little tour designed. We're going from this room to this next room to the next room, so forth. But let them lead. Let them go. You know why? There's several reasons. One reason is they control the pace. If my wife and I went to look at an open house, when we got to the kitchen, she would open everything in there and look at everything in there because she's a cook. All right? She's a dietitian. She's interested in the kitchen. If I were leading you through there, I might walk through there and take a look and we'd keep on going. But I learned something because they spend more time in one area than they do in another and so forth. That's one reason. What's another reason? Harry ought to be able to answer this one. He's a big guy. No, if he's in front of him, he's taking up space. When Harry walks in the room, does the room look smaller? Absolutely. So they're standing there at the door and he's standing in the middle of the room. Don't think so. All right? Another big one is this. If it's a couple, couples are more likely to talk to each other if they don't have that third party standing right in front of them. They don't feel like, I got to talk to him and then I got to talk to you and we got to have a three-way. I want them to have a two-way conversation. And they're more likely to do that if I'm not standing in front of them. So that's another reason to follow them through the open house. All right? What else? It's easier to observe the actions. You see that one? To the customer. What they see or what they did not see. That thing like I just told you about the kitchen and what they look at and so forth. All right? It's easier to see what they might have some interest in. All right? What else? Well, the last one down there is rather interesting. You have a captive audience when you want to talk with the customer. If we walked in this room, if y'all walked in this room and I really wanted to talk to you, I could stand in that door over there and we could stand here for an hour. You know why? What?
You're the way.
You're in the way.
Yeah, they're not going to walk out over you, are they? No. So you stand there. And you do things like this. Remember we said last week there are a lot of little tricky things? Little tricky pickups? Could I ask you a question? Remember that one? Remember that one, Rocco?
Yeah.
Why do you say, could I ask you a question?
Yeah, because majority of the time.
They'll say yes, and the majority of the time they'll what?
They'll respond.
They'll respond. Absolutely, positively. If you really want a question answered, could I ask you a question? Yeah? Sure. All right? So you can stand in the door because you got a captive audience. All right? Always have a planned conversation. It says, when touring the home, carry out a planned conversation with the customer. It's either a buyer, a seller, or both. When the conversation about determining which of these are separated potential buyers and sellers. You see this thing, this matrix handout right here? Look at this matrix handout right here. All right, look at the matrix handout right here. Okay, start by watching customers come in the street. We talked about that. All right. See that one? It says you can add this. Did you see? Did you have any trouble? This is an important one. Hello, Nicole. Golly, honey, I'm glad you showed up. I'm glad you're here too.
The feeling is mutual.
We're all glad you're here, Nicole. We're talking about open houses, honey. All right. Here. You want to pull up? You okay? All right. Did we get her this? Did she get this? Okay. All right.
I won't take a picture.
All right. Here we go. Here we go. You can add this. You see where it says you can add this? Do you have any trouble finding the house? You might ask them that. You see that dialogue? Oh, I'm glad you came. Appreciate you coming by my open house today. Did you have any trouble finding this? No. Oh, did you come from the sign of the ad? You see where that's going? You know where that's going, right, Rocco? You come from the sign of the ad. We came off the ad.
They know the price.
Bingo. Oh, we just happened to see your sign. We were just riding by. Different kind of buyer, isn't it? So you can add that dialogue to it. Now, here's the key to this stuff. If you're doing open houses, I would take this thing right here that you got in your hand that I had to hand right out. I learned this sucker from forward, backward, upside down, and every other way. All right? What else you going to say? Get the register signed. We talked about that. Start the tour. Let me show you the house. Right? What do we say? We're going to walk them through there. All right? And naturally, I've got this thing. Huh? See the question that says ownership on page 2? Right? You got the right one? Everybody got the right one? It says meet and greet at the top and so forth. And so then there's the question that says ownership. You see that? See that one? Now let me ask you this question. Would you talk to someone who owned a house the same way you talk to someone who does not own a house? Huh? No. No. Right, Harry? We know the standard question, right? You own a home? Right?
Right.
So we're going to ask the ownership question. We're going to ask the ownership. The key is here is the word currently. Do you currently own a home? Do you currently own a home? Yes, we do. And then you look at that clipboard and you say, oh, you live at 969 Cherokee Court. Is that correct? Yes, it is. What's the next question, Harry?
I'm sorry, I was in the middle of yawning.
Okay. We live at 969 Cherokee Court. What's the next question, Harry?
Have you thought about selling?
Bingo. You ever thought about selling your house? Well, they live, 2 blocks away and they came in an open house over here. What do you think they're there for? Are they going to move 2 blocks away? No. What are they there for? Absolutely. Absolutely. You weren't even in here. We talked about this a while ago. They're going to check a price. They're going to compare this house to their house. That sort of thing, right? How about if they own a house? Well, if you look on the left side of it, it says, yes, they own a house. You see that? Have you ever thought of selling it? Yeah, we thought of selling it. Just follow the track there. That's all you got to do. Yeah, we thought about selling it. What's the next question on there? When are you thinking of selling? Well, we might do it. We might do it in the spring. Okay. We've been through all that enough times, haven't we? Right? We might wait till next fall. Now, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? We might wait till next fall. What are you going to try to do with me, Harry? Come on. Harry knows all the answers.
Service and benefit to show you how I can get you more.
SBC them right now. You know what SBC means? No. You know what SBC means? I asked you last week.
You
Right?
did. Very good.
What does it mean, Nicole?
Service benefit, SBC.
Yeah, check. Service benefit check. Now, for those of you that aren't familiar with that, this is what it means. All we do in this business is provide services for people. You don't sell houses, do you? How many you own? You own one? You own one? You want to sell it? Because when you sell it, you're out of business. If you're selling houses, you're out of business. What do we sell here? Service. We sell services. What do we do for buyers?
Provide services,
What kind? What do we do, Harry?
service and benefits.
Yeah, but hey, I ask you the question, what do we do for buyers?
Find them a home.
Find them a house. Right. The service is for buyers, we'll find them a house. Right? What's the benefit to that? What's the benefit to me finding you a house? You don't have to look. You don't really have to look. I'll do the looking for you. Service benefit. How's that sound to you? Check question. Does that sound like a good idea to you? Service benefit check. Service benefit check. Service benefit check. Everything. Everything is service benefit check. All right. Well, it says when they're thinking about something. Okay, then service benefit and make. All right. Well, we might service benefit down there. You see it? It says yes. Okay. We might do it this spring. What are you going to do next? What are you going to do next, Rocco? We might sell our house in the next 3 months. What are you going to do, Rocco?
Ask them why and then show them how I can make more.
What am I going to do? What am I going to do? We might sell it in the next 3 months. We might put it on the market in the next 3 months. What am I going to do?
Well, what if I could show you?
You're a little bit off track. We just told, absolutely, Paul. When can I see your house? When can I see your house? I'm going to sell it in the next 3 months. You should be saying back to me, you should be closing. When can I see your house? Well, why do you want to see my house? Now let's talk a little bit.
Talk about the money.
Huh? Talk about money. What are you going to say?
Well, I would like to show you how I can gross money possible for your home.
All right, that sounds all right if he doesn't say in there 3 times. Okay. All right, yeah. Oh, you're saying you're thinking of selling it in the next 3-4 months, is that right?
Yes.
If I could show you how you might be able to get a little more money for it by letting me see it and talk about it and so forth, would you be interested in letting me see your house?
Yeah.
Okay. More money is interesting to you, isn't it?
It is.
Check question. All right. Follow? Oh, this is so easy. All right. Okay. Let's go back up there where it says service benefit offer on the left side. Nope. Not going to do it anytime real soon. You see that? You see that? Not going to do it anytime real soon. What are you going to do with them? We're not selling. I told you all the story about I had a couple one time told me they were going to sell a house when the dog died. Remember that? We talked about that. So about every couple of months I'd ride by the house to see if the dog was in the yard or not. But then it got to the point where you want to throw a little something across the fence to him. You might want to throw something over there to him, you know. So what are you going to do? We're not going to, hey, we might do it next year. What are you going to do? Is that a prospect? Is that a prospect? Yeah, absolutely. You know that. Absolutely. We're going to sell next year. I'm going to keep in contact with them. I'm going to put them on a contact list.
We had a for sale by owner. I was showing houses and I went to a for sale by owner. And he was telling my clients how he buried dogs and cats inside his yard. I'm like, this guy's an idiot. And then we opened up a cabinet and this guy had a book with a swastika sticker on it.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice.
I was like,
no thanks. No thanks. Okay. All right. Do you currently own a home? We got to that, have we? And they said, no, we're not ready to sell it. Well, it says, what to say at the bottom of the page? Close for a call back. You see that? You followed it right on the text there? Close for call back. Would you mind if I gave you a call from time to time, keep you updated on the real estate news in the neighborhood? Yeah, sure, do that. That's fine. Okay, great. Would you mind if I gave you a call from time to time to keep you updated on the real estate news in the neighborhood? We've been through this before with you, but everybody in here that owns a house, I'll bet you're interested in what it's worth. Right? Nicole owns a house, right? Nicole?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
You don't care what it's worth, do you?
Of course I care.
Of course. Everybody does. Everybody does. I've never met anybody in New Jersey that didn't care what their house is worth. Because most of them are trying to figure out what can I do to get out of here eventually. And part of it is this house. Okay? All right? So, Keep a call back. All right? Now, let's go back up to ownership, the top of that page. Do you currently own a home? No, we don't. Okay. That's a different ball game, isn't it? Different ball game entirely. Do you currently own a home? No, we don't. Okay. Next question. Have you ever owned a home?
No.
No? Okay, great. All right. The next thing says check seriousness. All right. You see this block there that says check serious? Oh, you don't own a home. Is that right, Harry?
That's right.
Okay. Are you looking for a home, Harry?
Yeah, I'm looking for
How long have you been looking?
a couple months now.
Have you seen anything you liked?
Not yet.
Not yet. But if you had seen something you liked, would you have made an offer on it?
Right now.
Okay. Now, what did I find out?
Serious now.
He's serious about, he's out there looking and he's serious about buying a house. Do you think that he's going to walk in that house and say, I'm serious about buying a house. I've already looked and I looked at a couple I liked and I saw one and I made an offer on it. They're never going to tell you that stuff, are they? Got to learn to ask questions. Ask the questions the right way, you'll get the answers. All right. Check qualified. Okay, how you check if somebody's qualified to buy a house?
Ask,
Ask. What are you going to ask, Nicole?
have you been pre-qualified?
Okay. Have you ever been pre-qualified? Or you can talk. Have you ever talked to a mortgage rep? Just ask them that way to start with if you want to. You ever talked to a mortgage rep? Yeah. If you've been pre-qualified to buy a house, been pre-approved to buy a house, ask them that sort of stuff. Now, if I said that I'd been pre-approved to buy a house, what's that tell you as the agent? What's that tell you?
Serious.
I'm serious. What have I got in my pocket? Credit card. When you're pre-approved, you got a credit, and you don't really have it, but it's like having a credit card that says I can borrow up to $200,000 or whatever the heck it is. You know, right? So if you run into somebody that doesn't own a home, but they've been looking and they've seen some houses they liked, and you might find somebody that's even tried to buy one. Oh, you tried to buy a house? Is that right? Yeah, we did. Would you mind telling me what happened? They wouldn't take our offer or whatever they say. But the whole idea is you're trying to get serious buyers. So, check for qualified. If they are qualified, all right, you see to the left there where it says yes, check qualified, and then it says yes. You see that? And it says look for 3 buying signs. What are buying signs? What are buying signs? Rocco, come on.
This kitchen is nice. I could use this extra bedroom.
All right.
An office.
Okay. Things like that. One thing is this. Anything they say, this is one buying sign, one category of buying sign. Anything they say that has to do with living in the house. All right? Like he just said, we could use this 3rd bedroom for an office. Anything they say that has anything to do with living in the house is one sign. What's another sign? Anything they ask not directly related to the house. What school district are we in? For example, how far is the train station? Da-da-da-da-da. All right? What's a good restaurant around here? Da-da-da-da-da. All right? That's the second kind of buying sign. What's the third kind of buying sign?
Negative things?
Absolutely, positively. Harry hit right on it. If I walk around in here and I look up and I say, what's that water spot on the ceiling all about? Does that mean that I'm not interested in the house? No. If I'm not interested in the house, I don't give a darn if there's a water spot up there or not. What do I care? I don't care if the ceiling falls in. I'm not going to be here more than 10 more minutes. All right? Negatives can be positive buying signs. Negative comments about the house can be positive buying signs. So you're talking to them as you show them the house, right? And you're looking for 3 buying signs. If you get 3 decent buying signs, what are you going to do? What's the next thing say? Ask 2 soft close questions. What are the 2 soft close questions? Somebody? You go, what's 2 soft close questions?
You see yourself living here?
Yeah. You like the house? Yeah. You like the house? Yeah. Could you see yourself living here? Well, yeah, maybe. All right, that's 2 good buying signs, right? 2, so he asked 2 soft close questions. 2 good soft close questions. You like the house? Yeah. Well, yeah, honey, do we like the house? Yeah, well, we sort of like it. Okay. Could you see yourself living here? Well, yeah, maybe. I sold a house one time in an open house. The kid bought it. 9-year-old daughter bought the house. You know how? I love this bedroom, Daddy. I want this for my bedroom. And the school's right down the street and blah, blah. She did everything for me. She did everything for me. And until I said, oh, you like the house, right, honey? Yeah. And I was talking to her. I wasn't talking to them. Talking to her. You like the house? Oh, yes. Blah, 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 blah. And then I turned to the parents and I said, what? Would you like to buy it? Okay. 3 buying signs comes to 2 soft closes, comes to 1 hard close question, and the hard close question is, would you like to buy the house? Bingo. I like to talk to these two. They're fun. Man, they can bing, 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 bing. All right. How about, would you like to buy the house? Yeah. Okay, what are you going to do? What's it say in the last block down there? It says sell the house, doesn't it? Would you like to buy it? Yeah. Well, I can't sell it to you today. I got to have this open house till 5 o'clock, see? I got to have this open house till 5 o'clock, see? So that leads us to one other thing. When you go to the open house, what do you have with you?
Paperwork.
What kind of paperwork, Harry?
To write the offer.
Absolutely. You've got to have the paperwork to write the offer. You got a buyer there. You want to, hey, you think I'd lock the door at an open house and sell one while I'm in there and let people stand out on the front porch? Yeah, I actually would. What does it? No, you think about this. What did the owner have an open house for? To sell it. So if you got a chance to sell it, what are you supposed to do? Tell these people come back at 5 o'clock? Huh? No, absolutely not. If you get a chance to sell it, you sell it if you can. Easy enough? So continue to look at that up there. It says check qualified. All right. No, well, they haven't been qualified. No, we've never done that. And then what's the next thing says? Ask service benefit. What's the SBC for that one? What's the SBC for that one? We haven't been qualified. What's the SBC for that one? Come on.
I work with lenders that can help you with that starter.
Okay. Absolutely. That's the service. I work with mortgage reps, blah, 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 right? What's the benefit to them? If they'll come talk to my mortgage rep, what's the benefit of that service?
I have a relationship with them.
Yeah, but what's the benefit to them?
We can get you find out the buying power.
They'll find out their buying power. Oh, jeez. They'll find out their buying power. You know, here's a service we can offer you. I'll have you talk to our mortgage rep. When you're finished with the mortgage rep, you'll know what price range you're in. How's that sound to you? Would you like to know your price range before you're out here looking? Sure you would. That's another little secret, by the way. What did I say? What's the last thing I said? What's the last 3 words I said? Sure you would. If they don't answer a question that's an obvious yes answer, answer it for them. We learned this last week, right, Hugo?
Yes.
Yeah, sure you do. You got on a blue suit? Sure you do. All right? Easy enough? Sure you do. If you don't say so, I'm going to nod my head and say, sure you do. Or I'm going to nod my head and say yes. All right? I'm serious. You got to get them to talk to you. Do you think you can do this business without knowing how to talk to people? No, absolutely not. I've told people before, yeah, everybody laughs at me. I said, we are developing a society in this country that can do nothing except play with their thumbs. All right? They can't talk to people, but they can. You got to know how to talk to people in this business. I've told you that before. I trained a lot of people. Some of them, the first time I ever met them, I got that fishy handshake and that looking at the floor when you're trying to talk to them, and I said, what the heck is this guy doing in here? Right? Serious. Easy enough, Harry? Harry and I met in the hot tub, right, Harry?
That's right.
And did we talk? We did. We really did. Did we talk?
Absolutely.
I said, what do you do?
I'm going to need some more background information.
He said, I work for a real estate company. I'm selling real estate. I said, you've been doing it long? Remember that question?
Yeah.
And what was the answer? I just started.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking in my head, oh, damn, I could teach you something.
Yeah.
Right? But we talked. That's the point. We talked. We're sitting there in a hot tub. Probably 6 or 7 other people sitting there. I don't remember anymore. Yeah. Right? But we talked. All right? So what are you going to do with them? They're serious about buying? Ask service benefit? Well, we're not really interested in talking yet, and it comes to a no there. You see that? And that pretty much kills you with that one to that point. You can close for a call back maybe. So what do you do with that service benefit? If they're not qualified yet, you try to make an appointment, just like she said. Try to make an appointment with the mortgage rep. Right? So that takes you down to the bottom of that page on this matrix. And everything is in that other dialogue handout. All right? Okay.
We did an open house. I was training Alejandra, one of the newer agents. So I kind of just gave her somewhat of a foundation of what we do here, on what I want her to do with other buyers. And we got buyers last week and got an offer accepted this week.
Out of an open house. Yeah.
Took them out one day.
Took them out one day. Serious? Were they serious about buying a house?
Very serious.
Very serious. All right. Okay. Look at the third page of this thing here. All right, where it says, do you currently own a home? Have you ever thought of selling? When do you think of selling, and so forth? Okay. You see, I want to go over this long answer there in the middle. Yeah, I own a home. Okay. Have you ever thought about selling it? Yeah, we're thinking about selling it. When do you think of selling? Well, we might do it soon. What's the next thing say? Huh? The best what?
Best service I can offer you is I'll do a market analysis.
What's the benefit? You'll know the approximate value. You see that? We don't say what your home's worth. That's bad dialogue. You think you can tell me what my home's worth by walking through it and looking at it?
No.
No. Darn right you can't. Darn right you can't. I can tell you, you can probably tell me the approximate value, right? Never walk in there and say, well, we could get $700,000 for your house. Because guess what? That's the only number they'll ever remember. You lying son of a gun. You told me you're going to get me $700,000 for my house. Right? No, 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 no. Can't do it that way. All right. Okay, so you get some interest. They say yes. If they say yes to any of the service benefits you offer them, what do? Close. Close. That service benefit check becomes a service benefit close. Close. All right. When can I see your house? Now, what do you say when you're all finished with all of this? You got an appointment with me and we're about ready to depart your open house. What are you going to say to me? And you got an appointment with me, Rocco.
I look forward to meeting with you.
I look forward to. Project everything from then on into the future. I look forward to meeting with you Saturday afternoon. Blah, blah, blah. All right? Project it into the future. If you don't get an appointment, would you mind if I gave you a call back from time to time? We just talked about that, didn't we? All right, where are we going? Where are we going? What's the next page say? Do you currently own a home? Oh, no. Nope. See that one? You currently own a home? No, we don't. Next question, have you ever owned a home? No, we haven't. And then you look at them like you're a genius and say, you must be a first-time home buyer. Right?
Sorry.
Right. I'm smart, right, Hugo? You don't own one, you've never owned one, and I said, you must be a first-time home buyer.
I am.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? Amazing. How did I figure that out, I wonder? Okay. All right. Now, the next question there, you see that question? How long you been looking? Your first-time buyer, how long you been looking? Well, you know what you're waiting for? You know what you hope they say? You know what you hope they say? You hope they say less than 60 days. Because guess what? First-time buyers that are serious about buying a house will go out within 2 or 3 months and buy one. They don't look from now till next fall. Easy enough? Oh, we've been looking since, well, right after Christmas. Oh, that's great. Okay. What's the next question? Seen any houses you liked? And then wait for the response. If they say, yeah, we saw a few we liked, that's a good response. No, we really haven't seen anything we liked yet. That's all right, too. That's all right, too. But do you know what kind of buyer you got? You're learning, right? Okay. Is that within your price range? You notice I didn't say, is that what you can afford?
Right.
Is that what you can afford, or what can you afford? I didn't say anything like that, did I? You know why? Because first-time buyers are really reluctant to talk about that. But if you can get around to, is that within your price range? See, it's all in the words and how you say it. Is that within your price range? Oh, yeah. Okay. Now I know I got somebody in there that's interested in buying a house, and it's in their price range. What am I going to do with them? Try to get them qualified. Try to sell a house. Use the following plan. Okay, what's the following plan say? Okay. Look for 3 buying signs. This is stuff we've already talked about a while ago. But hey, As you show that. Now, I know I got somebody that's serious about buying a house. I know the house is in their price range. I'm going to look for buying signs. Now, I'm really looking for buying signs, seriously. And we talked about what buying signs were a while ago, right? Anything they say that has to do with living in the house, any questions they ask about the neighborhood, the community, and so forth. All right? That sort of stuff. What else? Anything else? Negative. Remember we said negative comments can be positive buying signs? Remember that? I get 3 buying signs. I got to come up with 2 soft closes. What did I say just a while ago about the 2 soft closes? What's the first soft close?
You see yourself living here?
Uh-huh. Do you like the house? Yeah, we sort of like it. Second question is, could you see yourself living here? Easy enough? Easy enough? Well, yeah, I guess we could. Okay, what's the hard close question once again? Would you like to buy the house? Absolutely. Not, let's get a contract and that kind of stuff. Would you like to buy? Yes. Now, what are you going to do with them if they would like to buy? Okay. Okay. Buy the house? Yep. You got to have a plan for closing, right? What are you going to do? Everybody in here, Rocco, you can tell me if you got somebody comes in your open house, say we want to buy it. You got the plan, right?
Yep.
Tell me what it is.
Sell the house.
Oh, you're going to sell me the house. Well, that's not exactly the plan, is it? I'm a first-time buyer. I don't know what the hell I got to do.
Educate you through the home buyer.
Oh, did you hear the word? What was the word? Educate. Absolutely positive. Well, let me educate you in the home buying process. Did you hear that one? Okay. Do people like to be educated?
Yes.
I'm dumber than a rock, but I like to be educated. All right? They like to be educated. Let me show you. Show's always better than tell. Let me show you what we have. We, and the key word is we. As soon as they agree to buy the house, you partner with them. Haven't talked about that much. How do you partner with them, Rocco? Or Harry? Huh? We. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, you're going to do this and I'm going to do this. No. Not anymore now. Not now. Let's talk about what we have to do to buy this house. Now, am I going to help them pay for it? I don't think so. But let's talk about what we have to do to buy this house. Make sense? And then you go through the process. And if you're a good agent, you got a plan. Ba-ding, 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 ba-ding. This is what we have to do. We're going to have to, first of all, we're going to have to fill out some paperwork. Don't use the word
Contract.
contract. Absolutely. We got to fill out a contract. Scares the hell out of them. We got to fill out a contract. No. First thing we have to do is do some paperwork. Okay, and then you show them the paperwork because you got it right there. Well, you go through it, right? Like I said a while ago, I've seen open houses before where 10 people were standing out in the yard and the front door was locked. You know why? Because the agent was inside the house selling the house. Okay? So you got to have a plan. At the bottom of the left corner it says, plan for closing of buyers and working with buyers. It's in the working with buyers class that we're going to get to next week. Okay? All right, go up to the top of the right side of that page. Look at it again. Being first-time buyers, it's better to get the pre-qualified before you shop for a house. Okay. Service benefit, check. What do you mean pre-qualified?
How much you can spend.
Huh?
How much you can afford.
Okay, bad word. Bad word. All right, you're going to know approximately what you can spend for a house. But it's even better to be pre-approved. Why? What's the benefit? What's benefit? What's the difference between pre-qualified and pre-approved? You should know this, New Yorker.
One of them is what you can possibly, it's like an amount, it's a guesstimate. The other one...
Guesstimate, good enough. And if you want to remember the words, think about that credit card in your pocket. You're pre-approved, just like having a credit card to buy a house. Da-da-da-da-da. Easy enough? We all right with that? Are we good? So, if I were you, I know what I'd do. And I'll tell you this little story about how I actually started making some money. For those, most of it know this. First year I was in the real estate business, I was making money. I couldn't find a house to sell, or I couldn't find any buyers at the racetrack. Okay, I kept looking at the dadgum racetrack and there wasn't anybody there. I wanted to buy or sell a house. But the first real deal I had in the real estate business, And if I were you all, I'd do this. If Paul lists a nice house, say Paul comes in here and says, I got a nice listing, blah, 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 blah. What's the first question I'd ask Paul if I were one of you new people?
Can I do an open house?
Can I do an open house? When can I do an open house?
As soon as possible.
Yeah, when? Yes, go ask them. Ask them. There are people, Lynn lists houses all the time. Go ask her if you can sit in an open house. She said, just listed a nice house. Well, ask her, can I sit in an open house next Sunday there? Blah, blah, blah. You know why? You got to find business, people. You're new, you got to find business. Yeah, hon?
Question, so with open houses, I find that there's always clients who come and say they have an agent. Will you dialogue for that?
You have another agent? Is that what you're telling me? Mm-hmm. Okay. Has your other agent shown you all the available inventory? They're going to, you know what they're going to say? Well, I don't know. Well, you should know. If you've got an agent, all right? If you've got an agent, they should be showing you all the inventory. Here's another thing. If you're working with a lot of agents, is that what you're telling me? Huh? If you work with a lot of agents, you're not working with any. You work with everybody, you work with nobody. Do you like that dialogue? If you're out there working with everybody, you're working with nobody. You know why? Because you don't have any loyalty to them, they don't have any loyalty to you. So you're not one of their, big word here, top priority. You want to be one of my top priority buyers? Do you? Work with me. Does that cover it? Give you a little bit of a plan? That's all I'm trying to do, give you a little bit of a plan. I like to be top priority. I don't know. The only place I know I'm top priority